Hey everyone, welcome to Read Through the Word and June 9th. Hope you guys are doing well. We are plugging along through the summer days and in this 6th month of the year. I usually walk through the notes that I just have for you from top to bottom, and today I'm going to start from the bottom. As believers, we must have the courage to obey God, just confident faith, the courage to obey God, and the resolve not to compromise at any cost. The courage to obey God and the resolve not to compromise at any cost. That's the terrible situation the man of God here is in, that has been called to a task and obeys the task, and then the aftermath of obedience, it falls apart for him because he compromised. This is hard. This is one of those hard stories, like the killing of the concubine and the sacrificing of the daughter. And did he sacrifice? I can't think of the man's name right now. In Judges. Anyway, I'm not going to sit here and try to pluck my brain to remember it, but it's also one of those moments where it's Moses not getting into the promised land. It's a head scratcher. It's like, of all the good he did, and he messed up one time, and he's not able to get into the promised land. This man of God did what he was supposed to do, and then yet he compromised, and God punished him, and punished him greatly. It's one of the Deuteronomy 29:29 moments. I don't understand it. Can't explain it. All I can say is God is just, and I don't have to understand his justice. He doesn't owe me an explanation. I'm reading the same black and white words that you are. All we can do is learn about God and learn what God values here. And a huge lesson that I believe we can learn here is that temptations often come when we are at our weakest. This man sat down, and he was hungry, obviously, because he was offered food from the king, and he said no, he was going to go on because God told him what not to eat. So don't eat or drink, get on your way. Don't even go back in the same direction. You're going somewhere different. And he was more than likely fatigued and tired, and his flesh was probably pretty loud over spirit. And then someone comes along who, yes, lied to him, or I can't understand all of that part of the story either. And it's not mine to understand as far as, did this man lie? Was he really led by God? Was he really even a prophet? Was he misused? I don't know. But obedience to what God has instructed trumps everything, especially well-meaning persuasive. I put friends, probably people would have been a better word there. No matter how natural and seductive this enticement was, it was the duty of the man of God to resist it. Our flesh is going to make it seem so right. And when our spirit is in the place of weakness, even well-meaning friends' words can sound right. It's almost like we have to sit here and tell ourselves, the Lord told me no, 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 the Lord told me no. Or the Lord told me yes, the Lord told me yes, the Lord told me to go here. And just constantly repeating that to ourselves. Because we do have great friends. We have great godly friends who at other times have said, this is what the Spirit's leading me. This is where the Spirit's leading me. This is what I believe. Really? Okay, well, God told me this. So let me take that under advisement. And let me talk to the Lord about what you're saying. And then confirm everything. No matter how reasonable, rational, or right it sounds, confirm it with God. Because if God changes the plan, He's going to tell us about it. If He valued us enough to involve us in the plan of ministry that we're involved in, or whatever it might be, if He found us valuable enough to be involved in it to start with, He's certainly going to keep us moving forward through it. And He may sovereignly allow someone to come along and try to not trick us, but to test us. Kind of like the tree in the middle of the garden that was there. And He said, you can eat out of all these trees except for this one. And I remember saying to the Lord a few years ago in a deeper study of that story of creation, God, why did you even put that there? If you knew they couldn't have it, why did you put it there? Were you just tricking them? This is a conversation I had with God. Were you just tricking them? That's cruel. To which the Lord's response was through Spirit, I wasn't tricking them. I'm testing them. That tree there was put as a test to see their commitment and their faithfulness to God. And sovereignly, He put it there. Just as sovereignly, He puts people in our lives that might bring about things that sound right and rational, but they're not what God told us to do. So, how do we know the difference? I have to know the shepherd's voice. I have to know and understand how God talks to me. And the only way to know how God talks to me and understand what He expects of me is to spend time with Him in His Word. Because what He tells me trumps everything that everyone else tells me. And what the world will want to do is cause you to doubt, just like the serpent did, caused Eve to doubt. Did God really say that? Surely you will not. So we have to be really careful, and then just be courageous enough to obey Him to the point where we can look at someone and go, you know what? The Lord told me. Fill in the blank. The Lord told me. And then we will never, hopefully I can say never, be punished for erring on the side of obedience to God. For sure. I just like to say, my daddy told me no. That's kind of my go-to stand. My daddy said I can't do that. Y'all have a great day. And I'll see you next time that we're together on Read Through the Word.